I be rolling up. And if you buy it or you sell it, then you made the cut. Watch me flip it back. I can double up. I got sriracha for that ass, I'ma burn it up. Gotta check the rules and know that if you fair and foul, ref blow the whistle, coach throw the towel. We can do this on the field or outside the line. It's the man now with though, now we going live.
And what is up, everybody? Mike and Mike Man Hour here. Michael Buckeyes live, raw and uncut sports talk. I have a special man on the other side, my brother from another mother, Mike LeBlanc. Mike, what is up, man? Dude, I feel like it has been a little bit since we've talked. How are you doing since everything has, transpired and whatnot?
Man, I'm hanging in there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna air it out. I mean, damn. So last week was, Buck. Last week was rough, man. I got asked for a divorce on Monday. Found out my grandmother was gonna pass away on Wednesday. And my grandmother passed away on Thursday. And then, my now ex wanted me to sign separation papers on Friday. We're going to tell the kids. And then all this. Man, last week, honestly, was probably like the worst week of my entire life. And that's got to say something, right? Because I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan. So that's saying something.
And you have been talking to me since April. So, shit. I take stuff sideways pretty quickly, but I am glad you are back, Mike. I cannot do a solo show anymore, man. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I had a buddy that commented on our show last night. He's a guy I went to high school with. He was like, I think he's pronounced. Have I been pronouncing your name wrong for all these years? I was like, yeah, you really have, because everybody pronounces my last name like LeBlanc.
Yeah.
LeBlanc. And he was like, what is your co-host like? I was like, yeah, he even pronounces it wrong, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm used to it. So for everybody out there that's wondering, to pronounce my last name, it's not LeBlanc, it's not LeBlanc, it's not LeBlanc, it's just LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc. That's it.
That must be like Russian or something. LeBlanc.
No, it's French. It literally, you know what my name means in French, honestly?
Cocksucker?
The White.
The White.
The White.
Mike the White.
Yeah. Steve.
Alrighty, Wadey. What is up, Steve?
Here. Yeah, man, I've been talking to you over this past week, too. Steve Deere, shout out to you, brother, man, for being there and listening to me rant. Steve is a really good friend of mine. He knows Elizabeth. He knows my family. He knows my kids. So he kind of knows, like, everything. You know what I mean? But Steve, thank you for being there, brother. And we are planning a boys' weekend. And Steve, I cannot wait for that. I really need it. And I appreciate it.
Back in town.
Yeah, the boys are back in town. Let's go.
Let's go. So, guys, if you guys did not know, Steve Deere won a $25 Amazon gift card. I believe it was about 2 weeks ago. All he did was listen to some other RTF shows and typed in the keyword, the first one to type it in. So shout out to Steve for getting that. And also, guys, we are giving away some merchandise tonight over here on the YouTube channel. Head over to youtube.com/Mike and Mike Man Hour. Once it comes across the page, all you got to do is do hashtag Man Hour, and you get entered in. And, Mike, there's a little countdown timer on my screen here. We have 16 days, 23 hours, 11 minutes, and 57 seconds till kickoff. Till the NFL kickoff season, man.
Oh, my God. Buck, I love this time of year. Ooh, I love this time of year. This is that time of year where you get all warm and fuzzy inside because football is here. You start like, this is the type, you know how crack fiends, they're like,
right.
I need my crack, I need my football. I need my football. Oh man, 16 days, guys. 16 days. And we have kickoff. Man, I cannot wait. I'm so done with 2020, and I'm so looking forward to football. And I think, we were talking pre-show, like, what are we going to banter back and forth with? What are we going to talk about? I think this is what we can talk about. How many other Americans are realistically looking forward to kickoff day, where it brings everybody together what race, creed, religion, it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter because we all join together for football, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for kickoff. I can't. You know what I always love?
What's that?
Kickoff day, watching the Cowboys play, come out in that silver and blue. And I know it's the same with you with Kansas City with their red and
Right.
white. Like it, just to see them on the field
Exactly.
and playing, it brings so much joy and so much happiness. And yeah, I'll get pissed off if they lose, but I'm still happy at the end of the day that football is back.
Yeah, our high school season kicked off last Friday night, Mike, and
Did y'all win?
of course we won, man. Come on.
Oh, okay.
You know who the defensive coordinator is, son? Come on now. Shit.
How many points did they score on you?
We gave up 6 points, but listen here, we had our freshmen in, and they still had their freaking varsity starters in. So it was 41-0 at like halftime. We didn't play any of our varsity starters. We actually made our varsity players take their shoulder pads off. We suited up freshmen at halftime, brought them on the field, and the freshmen held a varsity starting team to only six points in the second half. So I'm pretty excited about our team, about our future.
Yeah, I'd be pleased with that.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, good job. Good job.
So we are definitely got some big things happening over here in Southern Indiana. So
hey, let's talk about. Hold on. We talked about something. You had players on your team that have decommitted.
Right.
Because of everything that's going on. So how many players did you have decommit from the Big Ten schools?
So officially we have had 3 players decommit from Big Ten schools. One of them or 2 of them were from last year. One of them was from this year, meaning they haven't signed, but they verbally committed, but they decommitted, and they're now going to SEC schools. So because they want to play ball.
They want to play ball, and we talked about this. I think it was last week when we talked about like. How is this going to affect recruiting? It's funny because you are already seeing it firsthand.
Right.
So how many teams around the country are starting to witness this? How does it affect the Big Ten and their recruiting?
Right. So prime example here, we had a kid that was going to be a preferred walk-on to Indiana. For those of you that don't know what a preferred walk-on is, They basically don't have enough scholarships for you, but they still want you to come and play for them. So like you have a spot on the team, but you don't have a scholarship per se. This person decommitted from Indiana and actually went to a MAC school because he just wants to play ball. Like he is walking on to a MAC school because he wants to play ball. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of people. I think there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to feel the same way. Like, I think this really hurts Ohio State. And the 2 biggest schools I think it hurts is Ohio State and Michigan.
I don't think it hurts Ohio State.
I know they have prestige. No, I think it's going to hurt.
Okay.
Regardless, it's going to hurt recruiting because everybody says coronavirus and all this bullshit is going to last into 2021. I mean, Anthony Fauci came out and said that he thinks this is going to last for, 5 or 6 years to come. So these kids have to be taking that into consideration.
Right.
Oh, well, you know what? The Big Ten schools, they don't want to play ball. I'm going to go to a conference, Big 12, and Big 12, SEC, ACC. I think those conferences are going to reap the benefits of what's going on, and they're going to have better recruits because of it.
So let me take it a step further, and like, yes, those conferences that you named are going to, make better strides and get more 5-star recruits. But think about these 4-star recruits and these smaller conferences like the MAC or the AAC or the Mountain West. Those conferences are going to benefit as well because you have those 3 to 4-star athletes that were going to be backups at Alabama. Now all of a sudden don't have a spot because there's 15 5-star recruits from Ohio State coming to Alabama to like play. Those 4 and 3-star players need to have a place to go. Boom, they're going to Ball State. They're going to Central Florida. They're going to Boise State, etc.
Here's how they save recruiting. These Power 5 commissioners have to get together and do away with the NCAA. And I read an article on ESPN saying that is this the end of the NCAA era?
It has to be.
It has to be, right? Because you have Big Ten parents, you have some Big Ten schools that are petitioning to play. Same with what's the other conference that are not playing? The Pac-12.
Yes.
Right. And the same thing is happening in the Pac-12. So at this point, these schools and these players and these parents are petitioning to let them play, and they're not. You know what I mean? So at some point, this Power 5 conference is going to join all together, and it's going to be the NCAA. They may still rule over, D2 schools, D3 and D4 schools. That's fine, but these D1 schools, I think the NCAA, I think that era is done. Not only that, I saw today the AP Top 25, and they still have teams from the Pac-12 and the Big Ten still ranked. How can you have those teams still ranked if they're not going to play ball?
Do you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Like I said, I have inside sources over there at the Big Ten conference. Like, that's how we broke the news before anybody else did that the Big Ten was going to basically shut down, right? So there are parents out there that are protesting, right? They want their kids to play football this season. They're actually hired a lawyer, and they are prosecuting the Big Ten to allow them to play football this season. As soon as September 28th is when the Big Ten season could potentially kick off. Here in a month. So with I believe the SEC is starting September 28th. The the Big 12. I didn't see their start date yet, but I'd assume it is right around there as well as the ACC is starting. I believe it's first weekend of October. With that being said, why not have them in the top 25 still? Why? Because in the end, when September 11th hits here in Indiana, our mask law is no longer out there, right? You no longer have to wear a mask as of September 11th in the state of Indiana. We are going to be at 100% capacity, fully open, yada, yada, yada. So,
hey. Texas is playing 11 games. How many games do they normally play in a college season? 11, right?
It's 11 or 12, yeah.
11. No, I think it's 11.
Yeah.
So I think
because they were scheduled for so it was 9 + 1 + 1. So they could schedule
Texas,
up to 11, but they were going to guarantee 10.
Texas scheduled South Florida. It's postponed, time to be determined. But I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be around, because Texas's first game that is actually on the schedule is 9/12. So maybe they fit South Florida in there somewhere, but Texas is still playing a full 11-game season.
Yeah, but that 9/12 was previously before the new rules came out. Is that correct? Because I believe their first game was week 3 of the NCAA season, if I'm not mistaken. So because the NCAA season was supposed to this week was supposed to be week 0, I think. What's up, Milton? I see you, big boy. My man Millie Mill from Kansas, dude. The biggest Chiefs fan you'll ever see, Milton, my man. But yeah, so
too bad the Chiefs aren't going to go back-to-back Super Bowls.
Well, we will talk about that, Mike. We will talk about that. So yeah, so going back to your point there, I mean, there is no reason to take the Pac-12 and the Big Ten teams off of the top 25 preseason rankings because the season hasn't started yet. Technically, it's still preseason, right?
So when the season starts, then, right after week 1,
right,
do all of those teams in the Big Ten and the Pac-12 fall off the top 25? Then,
in theory, you would think they would
have to.
Yeah, in theory, if they don't have any games scheduled in the 2020 season, you would think that they would have to, right? because technically you'd be 0-0 throughout the whole year.
Exactly, and
yeah.
not only that, if you're going to wait till spring ball, I mean, you can't have them in the top 25.
No.
You can't.
So with that being said, me being a K-State man, this could be the first time in a long time that K-State will finish in the top 25 because there's only 3 conferences.
So K-State gets in the top 25 by default.
Yeah. Hey, and a playoff berth.
No.
Why not?
No. K-State is not going to get a playoff berth.
So Milton says KU only has a KU. That's the Kansas Jayhawks. We're non-Big 12 fans. He says they only have 6 games scheduled. And he says me being realistic, they only won't, but who knows? I'm not for sure what you meant by that, Milton. My bad. But we are going to take a quick little break here.
Hold on. No. KU has way more. If we're talking about Kansas City Jayhawks, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games scheduled.
Is that 6 home
New
games?
Hampshire. They have New Hampshire, Coastal. I don't know who the hell that is. Baylor, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Kansas State, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas, TCU, and Texas Tech.
And I see 1 win on that list.
Yeah, I really do. I see 2 wins on this list. New Hampshire and Coastal.
And no. Sorry, man. KU is notorious to losing to Division II teams. Milton, I know you are a KU fan, but I remember, was it a couple years ago, Kansas Jayhawks lost to a Division III school. They came into Lawrence, Kansas, and whooped that ass. It was 42-6. A Division III school whooped ass on a Division I college.
I'm just glad we're gonna have fucking college football, and I'm glad Texas. I'm glad the Big 12 is going to play some fucking football. Texas doesn't have a chance because they're not going to play any ranked opponents besides Oklahoma to get into a playoff berth unless they just whoop the shit out of everybody. But that's not happening this year.
Right.
I don't think they're that good of a team. But you know what? My Horns are going to be playing football. My Cowboys are going to be playing football. Let's go.
Man, those two teams combined to average six wins. Ouch.
I mean, the Cowboys. I don't
I'm joking.
I don't see the Cowboys doing a whole lot this year either. I mean, I got them going fucking 9-7, 8-8 at best. But
hey,
you know what?
Don't let them in the playoffs, man. Don't let them in the playoffs.
I'm gonna see my silver and blue on the field, so that makes my heart happy.
And this is why I love Milton. No matter how bad the Kansas Jayhawks sucks, he is still wearing his blue and red all over town. But guys, we are going to take a quick little break. And on the other side of the break, the RTF Sports Network team let out the top 5 receivers of the collaborative group here, and LeBlanc and I go in on that. We'll be right back.
Horse shit list.
We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Mike and Mike Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheiser with Mike LeBlanc. That's it? No, I didn't say that right. LeBlanc. Like
LeBlanc.
But, guys, we do have some likes coming in on the page here. Milton, thank you for the like, my brother. Make sure you like the Facebook page to get entered in that $100 Amazon gift card. And Joshua Anthony Bubtiles, I'm sure I'm saying that name very, very wrong. Thank you for the follow as well over there on the YouTube page, guys. If you guys are not on the YouTube page, we are giving away a snapback hat tonight. All you have to do is give #ManHour over on the YouTube page. Jameson won that last week, so somebody else go ahead and jump in there and win a snapback hat. You guys can also go over to MikeandMikeManHour.com and order some merch as well. Or if you'd like to drop a donation like Sloppy Seconds did last night, Who was Sloppy Seconds? I don't know what it was, but Sloppy Seconds dropped us a $5 donation last night, Mike, and thank you for that, Mr. Sloppy Seconds, whoever you are. Definitely appreciate
Love
that.
it. Love it. Love it. And I love the name, Sloppy Seconds. I don't like having sloppy seconds, but I like the name.
Well,
I'm not a sloppy seconds kind of person.
speaking of Sloppy Seconds, the wide receiver core that the Mike Fink RTF blogger came up with. I mean, he did not come up with this all by himself. It was a collaborative effort with the RTF Sports Network shows here, but he wrote it, so he is taking the blame.
I'll give you this.
I'll give
you this. It's very well written.
Yeah, very, very well written. Mike, who does he have Mike Fink as a top 5 here?
So at number 5, he's got Devontae Adams. At number 4, Tyreek Hill. Number 3, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 2, Julio Jones. And number 1, Michael Thomas. First of all, RTF, how dare you leave Mike Evans off of this list? Or how dare you put Devontae Adams over Amari Cooper or Deebo Samuel or Chris Goodwin or Mike Evans or Tyler Lockett?
Whoa.
Devontae Adams is not a Tyler Lockett. He's not an Amari Cooper. He's not a Mike Evans. He might be better than Chris Goodwin. But Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, and Tyler Lockett? No, sir. No. I disagree with Devontae Adams even being on this top 5 list.
So Devontae Adams is a number 1 receiver on the Green Bay Packers, and he does have Aaron freaking Rodgers throwing him the ball. Aaron Rodgers does have a chip on his shoulder this season, so I could definitely see him doing big things. But we are all judging what we off of this list from last season, right? Because you can project all you want, right? And the projections are usually pretty good, as far as like fantasy points and like whatnot. But you cannot predict the future whatsoever. So let me give you guys the proper list of the top 5 receivers.
Let me give mine before you go into there, Bud.
Okay, go ahead, Bud.
Let me give you number 1. I'm gonna go from number 5. Number 5, Tyreek Hill. Number 4, Mike Evans. Number 3, Julio Jones. Number 2, I'm actually gonna say a T-1, DeAndre Hopkins, and a T-1, Michael Thomas.
All right, so just to confirm here, you have number 5, Tyreek Hill, number 4, Mike Evans, number 3, Julio Jones, number 2, DeAndre Hopkins, and number 1, Michael Thomas, right?
Or DeAndre Hopkins. I have DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas tied for number 1.
Right. So we do have one thing, right? Hopkins is the second best receiver in the NFL. Hopkins has done great things when he was with like Houston with a. Would you say Deshaun Watson is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
Now?
With Hopkins on the team.
With Hopkins, yes.
Yeah, without Hopkins, he probably drops below or outside the top 5, even though I do still think he has a pretty good receiving core over there. But Hopkins makes that quarterback that much better because he catches everything.
Well, it's just like I've said in previous shows. We've talked about it where the quarterback, like Tom Brady, makes the receiver. But I think in Houston, on the other hand, on the other side, I think DeAndre Hopkins made Watson a good quarterback. Right? Because Aaron Fuller, Kenny Stills, and then what the fuck is his face? I can't even think of his name anymore. Obviously, because he's a no-name.
Randall Cobb?
He's not a no-name, but...
Randall Cobb?
Randall Cobb. There you go. Thank you, Buck. It's a decent wide receiver core, but now Watson is going to have to step up. He's going to have to be that quarterback that makes these receivers better, and I don't think he's that quarterback.
Yeah,
I think he's another Dak Prescott. Think about it. If Hopkins was on the team with Prescott, we would be talking about, Prescott is a top 10, top 5 quarterback because of what Hopkins can do. Now, everybody wants to say that Dak Prescott is a top 5, top 10 quarterback now because of what? because of what Amari Cooper has done for him. Because before Amari Cooper came in, Dak sucked, and then changed the season around when Cooper came in, and then all of a sudden his stats went up. I think it's the same thing with Dak that it is with Deshaun Watson.
So this will definitely be a telling season for Deshaun Watson, 100%. He does open up against my Kansas City Chiefs and Milton's Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll definitely see what kind of player he is without Hopkins. So then at number 1, you had Michael Thomas, right, from the New Orleans Saints.
I have them. No, I have them tied. I have DeAndre Hopkins.
Either way, you're wrong.
No. Mm-mm.
Michael Thomas he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Do not get me wrong, but I have him at number 5.
Wow.
So at number 4, I do have Adams from the Green Bay Packers. I think I just after watching
don't get me
film,
wrong, he's a good receiver. Yeah. I just don't think he's top 5.
So
I really don't.
So the problem that I think that we have is we have two receivers that really separate themselves from the pack, and then you have 8 receivers that you can intertwine, right? That like it just happens to be one week or the other who is better than the other. The one thing that I do not agree with this at all is Tyreek Hill in the top 5. I don't think Tyreek Hill is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. He runs a great deep route. He runs great routes. But you put him man-to-man up against a lockdown corner that is going to press him. Yes, he can get off the ball quickly when there's no press, but watch plays where he gets pressed. He doesn't get off the ball very well at all. It takes him a long time to get down the field and run those 8-step routes.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill, the reason why I have him in my top 5 is he's a game changer. I go back to when Kansas City played the Cowboys.
Right.
And right before fucking halftime, Cowboys were up. Right before halftime, boom, right to Tyreek Hill, and this motherfucker takes a 75 to the house.
Yeah, he can definitely do that in a blink of an eye. But how many times
a game does he do that? That's why I have him in my top 5 because he is that game changer. Let's be honest. Mahomes can throw him a little 5-10 yard out,
right,
and in an instant, Tyreek Hill can take it to the house. There's not many receivers in the league that can do that.
There are starting to be more because Tyreek Hill and Julian Edelman kind of made that 5-10 guy short shitty guy a big deal in the NFL. So
I would never put Tyreek Hill and Julian Edelman in the same conversation.
I'm not saying they're the same receiver, but without Julian Edelman, Tyreek Hill would probably not be in the NFL.
Oh, I don't know. That's pretty bold, sir.
I mean, think about it. Think about mid-2000 or like 2003 till 2010, right? What was the prototypical wide receiver size? Chad Johnson, right? 6'5", 240 pounds, right? Now, what you're seeing is Julio Jones is that last big guy, right? The rest of them are about 6'2" and under. They're shorter and they're faster because you can get out in the field and spread the offense and just let them work, right? So if these same receivers that are top 5 receivers in the NFL now, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, I think he's only 6'1" or 6'2". Adams is only like 6'2" like as well. Those guys would probably not even be on an NFL roster if this was 2005. So, I mean, the NFL has definitely transitioned a little bit. But the best receiver in the NFL, you have him at number 3, but it is Julio freaking Jones. This guy has had 1,400-yard seasons all 9 seasons that he has been in the NFL. Last year was his lowest output. I think he had 1,401. So when you are consistently getting 1,400 yards every season, year in and year out, with Matt Ryan is not a bad quarterback by any means whatsoever, but I wouldn't put him as elite status. I wouldn't put him as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. So
Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I mean the problem with Julio Jones, the knock on Julio Jones is he doesn't get in the end zone. Like, that is his biggest knock, is he doesn't get in the end zone, right? I mean, he gets all these yards, runs up and down the field, all he wants, but he never gets in the end zone. I chalk that up to Matt Ryan not throwing a 6'5" receiver the ball in a red zone and poor-ass play calling. So, Julio Jones, number 1. Hopkins, number 2. I do have Mike Evans at number 3, Adams at 4, and Michael Thomas at number 5.
How can you have Julio Jones over DeAndre Hopkins?
Because Julio Jones has done it longer. He averages more than 1,400 yards a season.
I get that he's done it longer, but going into the 2020 season, Hopkins is the better receiver.
Is he, though? Because he actually doesn't have a proven quarterback. We can talk all
and that's what makes him better. That's what makes him better. He doesn't have a proven quarterback, but still is so productive on the field.
We don't know that because he hasn't played a game with Kyler Murray as his quarterback yet. We don't know if he's going to get.
It's going to be the same thing as Watson. It's going to be the same thing as Watson. I'm telling you, DeAndre Hopkins, and it makes it even worse because you've got Larry Fitzgerald on the opposite side of him.
Yeah, that's actually what makes it worse for DeAndre Hopkins. That's why I have him at number 2, because he is going to take targets. Larry Fitzgerald and the number 3 receiver, I always forget his stupid-ass name, he is going to take targets away from DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, but then it just leaves Hopkins to do what Hopkins can do, right? Because if it's one-on-one,
right,
receiver, cornerback,
I'll give you that. Go ahead.
I'm taking Hopkins all day long, even against the best shutdown corner in the league, because you throw that 50-50 ball up to Hopkins, 8 times out of 10, he's coming down with it. 100%.
I agree with that 100%. He is probably the best 50-50 ball guy out there.
Exactly. So that's why I can't. I would never be able to put Hopkins or Julio Jones above Hopkins, because if we're talking about a receiver lining up, going man to man, yes, you're always going to scheme for these kind of these kind of receivers. You're either going to double or triple team them or triple cover them. You're either going to release them at a certain point and then have a double coverage, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But if we're talking about a receiver going man to man, one-on-one with that cornerback, Hopkins all day long over Julio Jones.
So how I brought my rankings up here, it is like if I had Julio Jones on the Arizona Cardinals without Hopkins, they like just basically transpose Julio and Hopkins, who would have the better season? And I think Julio Jones would have the better season over DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I did the same thing for the Atlanta Falcons. Who would have the better season? Julio Jones or Hopkins? And I think Julio Jones trumps Hopkins on both of those teams.
I don't think so.
And then Adams. Now, Adams is great on the Green Bay Packers. The problem is that thinking about this now, the Green Bay Packers drafted another running back in the draft, right? They have 2 pretty damn good running backs in the draft right now. So the biggest thing that comes to my mind is, are they going to run the ball a lot more this season? Are they not going to give Adams a chance to catch the ball? I mean, that's my biggest concern for Adams going into the 2020 season, to be honest with you.
I mean, but you can't count him out because now you got Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, and the other receiver opted out because of COVID. So, Devontae Adams is going to be Funchess. The Devontae Adams is going to be the go-to receiver now. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well,
when is our break?
We're taking a break right now, man. We are late to the break. So, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little bit more Earl Thomas and some NFL COVID tests. We got to talk.
Yes.
Always got to talk about COVID, right?
Always.
We'll be right back after the break, guys.
I'm going to go grab a beer.
And welcome back to the Mike and Mike Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheister here, coming with you live, raw and uncut sports talk. You guys can head over to the MikeandMikeManHour.com and pick up some snapbacks, some hoodies, or some T-shirts as well. If you don't like any of that, feel free to drop a donation in there as well, like Sloppy Seconds did last night, that $5 note for us. Thank you very much, Sloppy Seconds. Mike, welcome back to the show, man, and it's time to talk a little bit about your Dallas Cowboys, a little bit about Earl Thomas, and what is really going on in Baltimore. So as you guys know, go ahead.
Well, I found it really interesting today. Baltimore releases Earl Thomas, and the Cowboys restructure Tyrone Crawford's deal to free up roughly about $6 to $7 million in cap room. Now, I saw the report, and they said, oh, it's to clear up cap room so we can sign Dak Prescott at the end of the season. But why are you clearing up cap room now with that when you probably could have done it earlier to go ahead and sign Dak Prescott to that long-term deal? I find it really interesting that they did that today when Earl Thomas,
Flashback.
Earl Thomas was released. I mean, it makes you think. I mean, yes, we've got Clinton Dix, but I mean, let's be honest. Earl Thomas is a huge upgrade from Dix.
Right.
So, I don't know. Do you read between the lines? Or because it's already come out that Dallas is the front runner for Earl Thomas. I mean, they were trying to get Earl Thomas last season before he went to the Ravens.
Right.
Earl Thomas has already gone to last season or the season before? He ran up to Jason Garrett and said, "Hey, y'all come get me." Earl Thomas wants to play for the Cowboys. That's widely known.
Hometown hero.
Yeah.
That's his hometown team.
So, and he's getting released because of detriment to the team because he got into a fight.
Right.
And it spewed over longer than what it should have. So, you already know that whatever team signs you, you're going to take a discount now because you are a detriment to the team. You're a virus in the locker room now.
Allegedly. Right.
Allegedly.
So,
right? But that's the perception.
So you as a Cowboys fan, you can read in between the lines all you want. You basically want to upgrade your defense, a already pretty good defense. We said it's top 5 over and over and over again. Adding Earl Thomas, the old Earl Thomas, with the Seattle Seahawks would be great. But let's be realistic here. This will be Earl Thomas's third team in 3 years. You know who else went to 3 teams in 3 years? Randy Moss. Over the hill, Randy Moss. What did he do? He actually went on 3 teams in 3 different weeks, like his final season. You know, buyer beware of this.
End of the road for Earl Thomas?
Well, what's that?
You think it's the end of the road for Earl Thomas?
He is like 33 years old. He is coming off a broken leg 2 years ago, right? It was a broken leg, right? And yes, he did have a good season.
Let's be honest. The safety position, your body isn't getting banged up like it is with a linebacker, line, or running back, or quarterback. True. Even a receiver. Your body's not getting banged up like that. That's why Ed Reed was able to play so long. Because Ed Reed, all the way until his last season with the Ravens, was still Hall of Fame status, still All-Pro.
Right. I give you that. But also, Ed Reed did not change teams 3 times in 3 years.
No, Ed Reed always stayed with the same team.
Exactly.
I mean, but Ed Reed, I'm not comparing Ed Reed to Earl Thomas. Ed Reed was a class act on the field and a class act off the field.
He was a mean motherfucker, let's be honest.
He was. But he was mean. He was a mean motherfucker in between the lines to the people who was opposite side of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was an amazing teammate, and, off the field, he was a class act.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and read between the lines here, okay? So, like I said, like Earl Thomas, this will be his 3rd team in 3 years. He got kicked off the team for fighting during training camp. like I said last night, if you are not fighting during training camp, during football practice, something is wrong. You are not working your ass off, right? You are not in each other's face pushing yourself to get better. Iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. With that being said, if the Baltimore Ravens, they have a $10 million cap hit on Earl Thomas this season, which they are filing a grievance to get that cash back. They would have not released him if they did not think they were going to get that cash back. What I'm trying to say here is, they think Earl Thomas is not worth his $10 million this coming season. Why else would you kick a guy off the team that could potentially be top 10 safety in the league?
Well, I mean, the senior players or the players board or whatever for the Ravens, he came out in a report that they didn't want him on the team.
Yeah,
when your teammates give up on you, the organization has no choice but to let you go.
So, but what I'm trying to say here is that the organization could have got something out of Earl Thomas. If they really didn't want him on the team, you do not come out and say nothing about this. You put him on the trading block. You get a first-round pick. You say, hey, Earl Thomas is the top 5 safety in all of NFL. Who wants him? We'll take a first-round pick. We'll take a second-round pick, right? But you just flat-out release him and take a $10 million hit on the cap. Something else is bigger going on there in Baltimore. And the fact that they filed a grievance to get that $10 million back means that Earl Thomas is probably over the hill. Why else would you not try to trade him? Why else would you put all this stuff out there and basically say, hey, this guy is a cancer, this guy is a problem? I mean, by kicking him off the team, by saying detrimental to the team, it is saying that, hey, this guy is a cancer. This guy is Antonio Brown, right? Like, that's basically what it comes down to. And is Antonio Brown signed yet? Absolutely not. He's still a free agent. Hell, Dez Bryant is going to get a job before Antonio Brown is, at this point.
Dez Bryant went and worked out for the Ravens, but left without a contract.
Yeah, but give it a week. They are one injury away. So what I'm trying to say here is something is wrong with Earl Thomas. Whether is it Antonio Brown syndrome? Because if you remember right, when he left Seattle with that broken leg, he flipped off the coaching staff because he wanted a bigger deal, and they said, no, you have to play, or something's going to happen. Like I don't remember the exact wording, but when he broke his leg, he flipped off the coaching staff and flipped off the ownership, and look where he's at a year later, jobless. With that being said,
I don't think Earl Thomas will be jobless for much longer.
Do you think he signs with the Dallas Cowboys?
With them freeing up cap space like they did today, real quick like that, yeah, I do.
So the problem that I have with that is if he wants to go to Dallas so bad, and the Cowboys want him, why didn't he go last year? Why didn't he take a hometown discount to play for the Dallas Cowboys if he really wanted to play there that bad? I think
money at the end of the day. He broke his leg. You know what I mean? He didn't know how he was going to come back. So it's money at the end of the day.
So you're telling me that the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't give him $5 or $6 million? He wouldn't have been satisfied?
I mean, look at Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott is a quarterback.
I get that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you were still getting the money you want. We just wanted a year longer.
It's just – I'm just saying, if Earl Thomas really wants to be in Dallas, he will take a discount. He will take the league minimum because he's getting – because right now he's guaranteed $10 million for this season from the Baltimore Ravens unless he loses his grievances, which I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I don't think he will lose it. But you never know.
I don't think he'll lose his grievance either. I mean, what? Because I got in a fight with a teammate. You can a good lawyer could go back and be like, look at all these fights all these NFL players have gotten into over the years during training camp.
Right.
It's the heat of the moment. It happens in training camp. And just like you said earlier, if you're not fighting and getting in fights in training camp, that means you don't have a dog in the fight and you're not ready to go.
Yeah, I mean. Even at the high school level at 5A football, I mean, we have 2 fights a week. Easy. I mean, shit.
Easy. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. Tempers are going to flare on the football field. This is a violent sport.
Especially when it's 100 degrees outside.
Huh?
Especially when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, tempers are going to flare. So Baltimore will lose this grievance.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to give him $10 million. Unless there is something else that they are not coming out with, and they're not telling anybody. But other than that, I mean, dude, shit happens. Tempers flare on the field in between the lines.
Right. So, I like I said, like I talked about this last night a little bit. And Jameson, we haven't seen him here tonight. Hopefully everything's okay with him. He's always here. I kind of feel lonely without him here. So Jameson,
No, he don't like us.
we miss you, man. But Jameson said that the 49ers would be a good fit, the Buccaneers, and I believe he said who was the other team that he said? The Buffalo Bills, maybe? Do you think Earl Thomas ends on any of those teams, the 49ers, the Bucks, or the Buffalo Bills?
No, I'm going to give you a sleeper team, though.
Chiefs?
Nope.
Who?
Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. Everybody wants to go to Cleveland.
Their safety was carted off today with an Achilles injury.
That's the worst. I mean, Achilles injuries are by far the worst. Excuse me on that. Got a little hiccup. That was weird.
And I think the Browns need to go out and just deal with it and go get Clowney as well.
True. I am really surprised that he is not signed, but of course he gives half-ass effort though. I like as well. He dominates 2 plays in a row, then he takes the rest of the quarter
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised to see Jadeveon Clowney possibly sign with the Cowboys either.
That's what I was thinking because they did just cut Gerald McCoy because he had a quad tear, which is out for the year. So
don't be surprised if we come out in the next week and Clowney signs with the Cowboys. I mean, you got to think we just lost McCoy, right? We got HaHa Clinton-Dix, so we're decent at safety. We've definitely upgraded from what we had last year. We've definitely upgraded. Did they clear that cap room to go after Clowney?
I think at this point, Clowney will take how much was he making in Seattle? $10 million, $12 million? Yeah. I think he would take that $8-9 million range to play with a team like the Dallas Cowboys. Just because this is me being a passive Cowboy fan, yes, but I can say in a breath that I think the Cowboys have a Super Bowl caliber team. They have a Super Bowl caliber coach. You could easily see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. That's why I think he would take a pay cut to play with some of those guys that that Dallas Cowboys team.
I don't know about Super Bowl caliber. I'm a Cowboys fan.
How are they not Super Bowl caliber? Look at the offense that they have.
Dak Prescott.
Mike McCarty.
Dak Prescott.
Listen here. When Mike McCarty was the offensive coordinator for Brett Favre, he taught Brett Favre what a zone coverage is. Right?
Yeah, but, until you can prove that you can beat playoff teams and you can beat above 500 teams, I don't have faith in you.
Well, you know what? You don't have to have faith in Dak Prescott because guess who we got on the bench? Andy Dalton.
We got the Red Rocket. Rocket is talking up the Cowboys. Oh, I saw a report today.
He should be.
He is. This is a Super Bowl team. I would not be surprised if we're in the Super Bowl.
Which
I get it. But Dak Prescott has to come out and prove that he can beat a playoff team.
So if the Cowboys are not Super Bowl bound, we both have said the Seahawks. What other team in the NFC could possibly be a front runner?
The Saints.
We said their playoff record sucks.
It does, but I think the Saints.
They have 3 playoffs wins with Drew Brees. They have 2 playoff wins besides Drew Brees beside that Super Bowl run.
I still think the Saints are front runners, and don't count. I'm a closet Packers fan, so don't count out my Packers yet either.
Don't count them out till week 3.
No, don't count them out until they're out.
They are out week 3. Aaron Rodgers says F you, and he goes to Cleveland, and that's where all the good athletes go to die. If Earl Thomas goes to Cleveland, his career's over. If Dez Bryant goes to Cleveland, his career's over.
Aaron Rodgers, I promise you, if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers, he's going to the Cowboys.
100%. Dallas or the Buccaneers, I think Jameson said that the Buccaneers will be the new retirement destination for these players that have a couple years left in them, right? But let's move on. We haven't talked COVID tonight, so we might as well slide some COVID in there, right? So the Cleveland Browns.
I saw a thing earlier today. Not a thing. It was Trump was accepting his presidential, or not his president, but his Republican nomination. Um, and this motherfucker really, like, don't get me wrong, I am supportive of Trump. I like his America First attitude. I like his policies. He's a fucking man child, and he rants and he raves, and he's a little fucking crybaby. Okay? But this motherfucker said, literally, oh, I'm in West Virginia, but after November 4th, all this COVID stuff's gonna go away. What the? You can't just fucking put that shit out there.
Facts
Like,
are facts, Mike.
I get it. You know, you can't just put that shit out there. Because now it's like, does it make you think, like, when the election happens, is COVID going to go away?
It is. And I'm going to tell you the 2-minute warning, Mike.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And tonight in the 2-minute warning, as you guys know, the Cleveland Browns and the Buffalo Bills practices were shut down earlier or late last week because of a rash of COVID tests. Well, those tests that were sent to a centralized testing location come back all positive. They had roughly a 40% positive rate. Those same tests were sent to local testing things, and 0.4% of them came back positive. 1 out of 500 tests come back positive. Guess what, guys? That centralized testing location's owned by a Democrat. You know who's not a Democrat? President Trump. And he flat out just told you COVID is going away here in a month. Flat out told you. COVID has been a hoax since day one. COVID has been overrated since day one. I mean, I got diarrhea right now. Does that mean I got COVID? No, it's because I had fucking Chinese food for lunch. That's exactly what it is, Mike. So, when you have such different texting things from one testing location that's owned by a Democrat to a localized state testing that's owned by Republicans, right? Or ran by Republicans, and there's a 40% positive rate and then a 0.4, that's 39.6% difference in positive tests, Mike. What is up with that?
I don't think that's the only place that's just happening. I think that's happening all across America, and that's why our COVID test looks so high. I mean, think about it. Like, if you fall out of a window, if you die, they're gonna blame it on COVID.
You know who else died from COVID?
I have a friend whose grandmother passed away from kidney failure, but on the death certificate, it was written as she passed away from COVID.
You know who else died from COVID, Mike?
Who?
George Floyd. That's what they said.
Did you see the new thing that came out with George Floyd?
What's that?
So when police pulled him over and he was actually inside the car, he opened it. They have him, their body camera or whatever.
Right.
He had a little white substance on his tongue, and they're saying that's what he died from.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
this fucking world we're in, man.
And dude, fuck 2020. I'm done with it.
All right, guys. That is the Mike and Mike Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhuister, Michael blah blah blah. The white man over there. The white
LeBlanc, it's LeBlanc.
We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. MikeandMikeManhour.com. Go get some merch, damn it.
Cheers, fuckers.
We out.